Hey there everyone, and welcome to another meditation. This is called a body scan meditation, which is a type of mindfulness, and there's a few different ways of doing this. This is my favourite way of doing this. You may actually have heard it before, where you just scan up through your body, just checking in with how things are feeling, or you may have even done one where you try and actively relax. But we're going to do one today where we do a bit of both of that, plus we're going to actually use tensing up as a way to feel additional relief. In life, we often relate to things through comparison. So when we relax a muscle, if we have previously tensed it just before, the relaxation by comparison feels more intense. And that's exactly what we're aiming for today. So without further ado, we're just going to get straight stuck into it. Now, you can do this meditation sat in a chair or lying on your bed, or simply just sat in a meditation pose, however you like. But I want you to close your eyes, and we're going to start by grounding ourselves through the breath. So you're going to breathe in through the nose, nice and slow, and out through the nose. And each of these breaths is going to be something that we anchor ourselves to as we move up the body. So we're going to take 3 more breaths before we bring our attention to the body. And as you do, just allow the outside world to disappear a little. With the next breath, your mind becomes more still. And with the final breath, your mind becomes more focused. Now we're going to start at the bottom of the body. So I want you to bring your attention to your feet. Just check in with your feet. How are they feeling? What temperature are they? If you're sat up, are your feet flat on the floor? If you're lying down, are they facing forward? Are they tilted to one side? Does each one feel the same as the other? Or are there any differences between the two of them? And as you breathe now, move your attention up to the ankles. Checking in with the ankles. How are they feeling? Is there any difference that you can notice from one to the other? On this first time round, we're not trying to change anything. We're just paying attention to what is there. Bringing the attention from the outside world to the inside world, to the feelings and sensations in your body. And as you breathe now, we move up again into the shins and the calves. Noticing any feelings there. Perhaps the feelings of the fabric of your clothes rubbing against your legs. Or the material of whatever you're sat or lying on. And on the next breath, we travel to the knees. The knees are an area that can hold a lot of tension, a lot of pain. We're not trying to stop or change that right now. We're just paying attention to what is already there. Take a couple of breaths here. And if you find at any moment that your attention or your thoughts go to anywhere else, just bring them back calmly to the part of the body that we've just come from. As we breathe again, we bring the attention further up once more into the thighs, the front of the thigh, the back of the thigh. Again, noticing any sensations there, any difference in the weight distribution from one side of your body to the other, any tension in one muscle more than the other, or any changes in temperature, even if there's any itches. As we breathe in again, now we bring the attention to the hips. At the hips, notice the angle of the hips. So whether you're sitting down and your hips might be at 90 degrees, or if you're lying down and your hips might be open, notice what the sensation there is of that. And perhaps if it's possible to do so, just move that angle slightly and notice any changes that occur. Now from the hips we travel to the stomach. There can be a lot going on in the stomach, depending on how recently you've eaten, or if you're thirsty. There can be so many different sensations there. Sometimes anxiety can sit in the stomach. If that is true for you, we're just going to let it be. We're not going to do anything to change that right now. We're just going to notice what is happening in that stomach at this moment in time. On the next breath, we move in and we move up and we come to the lungs, the part that is breathing for us. Just pay attention now to the feelings of the lungs as the breath expands them and as they relax on the out-breath. Feel that life-sustaining air fill your lungs, and just take a moment to be grateful for it. Also in the chest we have the heart that beats for you so diligently. Again, let's just take a moment while we're here to honour that heart. To be grateful that it is there, beating away, passing that blood around our bodies, keeping us alive. And while we're still in that upper torso, let's just move around and check in with the back, the shoulder blades, noticing how they are. Whether they're hunched forward, leant back, whether that chest is open. Not trying to change it right now. Even if you notice it and you think that you identify it as wrong, I want you to just leave it as it is, because right now, it is what it is. On the next breath, we're going to move to the shoulders, to the lower neck. Again, one of those areas in our bodies that we can hold so much tension. Just notice what's there. Notice if one side is hitched up more than the other. And for the first time now, we're going to move down, because before we go to the head, we're going to go into the arms. So check in with the upper arms, the biceps and the triceps. Notice how they feel resting against the side of your body, or lying flat on the bed. With the next breath, move to the elbows. Just check in here. Again, maybe even just noticing nothing else but what angle they are. If they're open, if they're bent. And then moving now to the forearms. And to the wrists. And to the hands. Notice how you are holding your hands. Are your fists balled and clenched? Or are your hands open with your fingers spread? Or maybe they're just loose and easy. Again, not trying to change anything here, just accepting what is already going on. We'll take one more breath here before returning up the arms and into the neck. And as we do, just notice your neck, the posture of your neck, the feeling of your head as it rests on your neck, whether it feels light, heavy, tight or loose. And as we move up from the neck, we move to the head with so many different parts. So many areas in which we can have feelings, and the first place we're going to go to is the jaw. Notice, is it tight? Is it loose? Is your mouth open or closed? Are your teeth clenched? Or are they easy? From there, move up into the nose. Feel the sensation of that breath as it passes through your nostrils, both on the in and the out. Notice whether that breath passes through your nose easy, or if there's anything there that may obstruct it. And from there we move to the eyes and the space between the eyes. Notice how they feel. Notice any differences from one to the other. Were they closed? Were they open? If they're closed, are you holding them tight shut, or are they just easing? And behind the eyes, we move to the brain. The brain that has allowed you to do this journey so far and is about to show you what it can do when we go the other way. Notice the thoughts, all of them. Are there many? Are there few? Are you already calm? Or are you still maybe a little bit anxious, maybe a little bit nervous? Again, we're not trying to change anything now. That comes in a moment. Right now, we are just accepting and honouring whatever is there. Okay, and now we will return with our descent. But with this, what we are going to do is we're going to actively try and make that area as tense as possible for a second before we release, let go, surrender. So starting where we left off in your mind, imagine that mind tensing up as if it is a muscle. You can tense that muscle of your mind, tense it so it's tight, and then release, relax. We come to the eyes. Clench those eyes shut tight. Feel that go on for the half of the breath. And as we breathe out, let all the tension go from that area. Same with the nose. Scrunch that nose. Tighten it up. On the in-breath, we tighten. And on the out-breath, we release. Same with the mouth. Close the mouth. Keep it tight. Lightly grit your teeth, not too hard. Tense that jaw, and as we release, let it go loose. Let it go easy. On the in-breath, lengthen the neck. And on the out-breath, let the head sit easy on top of it. And we'll go to the shoulders before we go to the arms. So on the in-breath, hunch those shoulders right the way to the ceiling. Scrunch them up. Keep them tight, and then relax. With the arms now, imagine you are able to grip something all the way through the arm as tight as possible. You're holding on to something that you desperately don't want to let go of. But then on the out breath, we let go, we surrender, we release. Coming back to the arms, imagine grabbing a steering wheel in front of you now, keeping the hands where they are. Pull those hands apart without them moving, and you should feel the tension go into your back, into the parts of your back just under your armpits. Get that tension and then let go, release. And now the opposite of that, we grab that steering wheel again, and now we try and push the arms towards each other without moving them. This should feel all the tension now through your chest, and we release. We take 2 more breaths in the chest. With the first breath, we imagine that we can control the speed of our heart. And on the out breath, we imagine it's slowing down, like the foot coming off the accelerator. And now we're going to do the same with the lungs, and you can actively do this as we take the out breath twice as long as the in breath. So we fill up the lungs. And now we slow down, release, relax, surrender. With the stomach, imagine that now tensing as if you're about to take a punch. Keep that tense as we breathe in, and on the out breath, we let it go, we relax. And the same now with the hips. Tighten those hips. If you're lying down, bring your knees up and get your hips to that 90-degree angle. And then relax. Pop them back down, or if you're in a chair, slump into that chair a little bit more. Lean back, open those hips. For the thighs, what we do is we straighten the leg and we imagine that we're trying to push something away with the soles of our feet, and that should get those quads active. We hold that for the in-breath and we release it for the out-breath. Now with the knees, just breathe in and imagine as we breathe out, a little hole in the side of the knee letting out all of the tension like smoke. Let's have one more of those, and as we breathe out, all the tension relieves from there. For the calves, what we do is we point and flex the toes and the ankles. Pull the toes towards the knees, and you should feel the stretch and the strain go into those calves. Then, as you breathe out, relax, release, surrender. And finally, back into the feet. Scrunch your toes as if you're trying to pick something up with them. Keep them nice and tight on that in-breath. And finally, on the out-breath, relax, release, surrender. We've got 3 more breaths just to bring us back to reality. On breath 1, your mind becomes still. On breath 2, you begin to notice the sounds in your room and around you. And on breath 3, you open your eyes, fully alert, and back to the room.